In June of 2014, a 92-year-old man died in a small town in Vermont. His name was Ronald Red. He'd spent his life pumping gas and mopping floors at a department store. He held his winter coat together with a safety pin. He drove a used Toyota. Some mornings at the diner, strangers quietly paid for his coffee. They assumed the old janitor couldn't afford it. Then the will was read. Ronald Reed left about $8 million, nearly $5 million to the town hospital, over $1 million to the town library, the nurses he'd sat next to at the counter, the librarians who knew him by name. None of them had a clue. The man the whole town felt sorry for could have bought the block. Everyone tells that story like a riddle. It isn't one. It's a machine, and today I'm drawing it. Because here's what you've actually been taught, since before you could count, that rich has a look. The car, the watch, the address. Scroll your feed for 10 minutes and count the lessons. The wrist angled just right at the gym, the car key laid on the restaurant table like a business card. Nobody says the rule out loud. They don't have to. And every time you couldn't afford the look, some part of you filed it as failure. Easy, breathe. Watch this. The machine has a name, the signal tax. It runs on 3 gears. Gear 1, every signal signs a contract. In 1769, a French philosopher named Denis Diderot was given a beautiful scarlet dressing gown. A gift. Free. Within months, it had wrecked his finances. He wrote a whole essay confessing it. Because next to the new robe, his desk looked shabby. So he replaced the desk. Then the chair betrayed the desk. Then the prints on the wall betrayed the chair. Room by room, the free robe repriced his entire life. Economists still call it the Diderot effect. And you've signed that contract too. The nicer car doesn't just cost the payment, it requests the insurance, then the parking, then it starts asking quiet questions about your neighborhood. The watch calls for the suit calls for the restaurant. No single purchase feels crazy, each one is just matching. That's the contract. A visible thing never stays one thing. It reprices everything standing next to it. And the thing standing next to all of it is you. You felt this gear in your own paycheck. Remember the raise that was going to change everything? 6 months later, nothing had changed, except the labels on the things you already own got a little shinier. That wasn't weakness. That was the contract collecting on schedule. Gear 2, the audience never pays. Back in 1899, an economist named Thorstein Veblen gave the game its real name, conspicuous consumption, spending whose actual product is being seen spending. So think about who the look is even for. Replay the little movie you ran in your head before your last big visible purchase. There were people in it, right? Watching, impressed. Now ask the cold question, which of those people pays your rent? The audience applauds. The audience does not chip in. You are the only name on the bill, performing for shareholders who hold 0 shares of your life. And it's worse than it was. Your grandfather performed for 1 street. You performed for every phone in your pocket, all day, every day. The theater went infinite. The tax went up with it. Gear 3, the invisible side compounds. Here's the flip nobody draws for you. A financial writer once put it in 6 words. Wealth is what you don't see. The money that isn't a car is allowed to stay money, and money that stays money multiplies. Ronald Reed's safety pin was holding more than a coat. It was holding 70 years of dollars that never got converted into looking like something. Researchers who spent decades interviewing American millionaires kept finding the same awkward pattern. Most drove ordinary used cars, lived on ordinary streets, wore ordinary clothes. Texans have a phrase for the opposite. Big hat, no cattle. The look and the wealth aren't just different things. Most of the time, they're competitors, feeding on the same paycheck. And run Reed's tape backward because the math is the confession. Nobody hands a janitor $8 million. It was gas station wages, minus a signal tax of 0, left alone to double, and double, and double again across 70 years. The pile wasn't a miracle. It was the absence of a leak. Turn the canvas. You thought looking poor meant going without. Sacrifice, deprivation, a gray little life. Look at the drawing again. Reed wasn't depriving himself. He liked his flannel. He liked the diner. He simply never signed the contracts. No Gear 1, no matching spiral, no Gear 2, no audience on payroll, which left Gear 3 compounding, running uninterrupted for 70 years. The town thought it was watching a poor man. It was watching the only man in the room whose money worked for him. That's the signal tax. Looking rich converts your money into evidence. Staying invisible converts it into freedom. Every dollar you touch can become proof, or it can become power. It cannot become both. Now the honest part, because this machine loves a villain and I'm not giving you one. Nobody held a meeting to invent the signal tax. Your brain came wired for status before it came wired for math. Reading who mattered in the tribe kept your ancestors alive. Ads didn't create that itch. They just learned to rent it. And your neighbor with the brand new truck isn't mocking you. He's paying his own tax, probably wincing at his own statement every month. There's no mustache to point at, just incentives, every one of them leaning the same direction. Toward the visible, away from the invisible. Toward the audience, away from you. So here's the one look to take with you. It costs nothing and it works at any income. Before your next visible purchase, run the Blindtown test. If nobody could ever see it, no neighbor, no feed, no parking lot, would you still want it? If yes, get it when you can and enjoy every inch of it. That one's for you. If the answer is no, you weren't buying a thing. You were paying a tax. And now you can see the collector's hand and that ache you've been carrying, that you're somehow behind because your car is older and your clothes are plain. Run it through the machine one more time. The look was never the scoreboard. The look was the FEE. And you weren't failing to pay it. You were quietly refusing to. See the machine. Don't be the fuel. We draw one machine a week. The next one is already on the board.